Hello everyone, this is Chase Pounds. In today's video, I'm going to be discussing about the origins of foods that you'd be surprised at. Now, the first food I'm going to be discussing about is fried green tomatoes. Now, as most of you already would think that just like any other fried food, fried fish, fried chicken, fried pickles, fried okra, you would think that they all start in the South, which all these foods had names, all had their origins in the deep South, one way or the other. But fried green tomatoes, you would be surprised at. What made me bring up this topic was lately I've been frying green tomatoes. I do like to cook a lot, and particularly on Sundays, I try to be traditional and cook. And I cook like traditional dinners, such as like traditional dinners like pork steaks, pork chops, fried drumsticks, used drumsticks, salad, green beans, and mashed potatoes. One Sunday one Thursday actually, it was on a Thursday, I was cooking some fried green tomatoes, preparing some fried green tomatoes. And I was just curious, what was the origin of fried green tomatoes? Because I didn't think that I was even thinking further back into the pre-Civil War era that fried green tomatoes weren't common staple of the South. And there was and as it turns out, fried green tomatoes weren't from the South. They were actually started in the Midwest. They started during the mid to late 19th century. The concept came to the United States by Jewish immigrants. This really surprised me. I wouldn't have thought Jewish immigrants from the Midwest. And it says that it was frequently referenced in cookbooks such as in Chicago. They had like a newspaper article about fried green tomatoes. And there are even some southern articles that reference the recipe, but these weren't independent southern articles. These were mass distributed cookbook recipe articles that would mass distributed across the whole country, not just the South, but in general all across the country. And oftentimes fried green tomatoes was usually something people would something people would prepare if they had a lot of unripened crops. Often gardeners would have a lot of tomatoes left over in autumn during the first frost, and a lot of times they would have a lot of ripe green tomatoes, and sometimes people would fry them, sometimes eat them for breakfast, yet fried green tomatoes were often obscure. It wasn't really a popular dish in certain parts of the Midwest. And it was well into the 70s that fried green tomatoes were still mostly popular in the Midwest. It wasn't until a novel that came out called Green Tomatoes at the Wizard Shop Cafe that fried green tomato started to become popular in the South, and with the success of the film by the same name. It came out in 1991. That further started to make give a southern association, fried green tomatoes, a southern association. From that point on, that you could find fried green tomatoes at any restaurant, both casual, upscale restaurant as an appetizer dish. People had different variations of how to make fried green tomatoes. Some decided to put their own spin to it, and using different breadings. Some may use, such as I may use, such as flour and cornmeal mixed together. And I usually soak it in egg yolks so it can stick, so the flour and the cornmeal will stick better. And I add a little seasoning to it, maybe like mostly to the flour, like a mixture of seasoning, salt, pepper, and garlic, and flavor. And I put it in. I usually use a cast iron skillet of Crisco oil, and I put them. Cook them in cast iron skillet with the Crisco vegetable oil, and that's how I used to prepare it. And people had their own variations of how cook fried tomatoes with use pancake batter or buttermilk, different methods, breadcrumbs, and people could eat them for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Some people make a fried green. Sometimes people put fried green tomatoes on their grits, on BLTs for lunch, and they can eat them as a side dish with dinner, which I normally cook them for dinner. And that kind of changed my perception though about fried green tomatoes being a southern dish. Yes. And this made me think about another. I already knew about this, but another dish that has a southern association is more of a dessert, though this is a dessert, red velvet cake. The red velvet cake, there's been different debates about how red velvet cake got started. Some people say it was started in a hotel in New York, the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. Others say it was started in Texas. And Texas, the origins of the origins of red velvet cake date back to the Victorian era, as for the first time chefs were starting to use cocoa flour, which often the cocoa flour would sometimes have like a dark, almost velvety reddish color, dark reddish color. Often they would top it with white icing, either probably buttercream icing. I'm not sure if they had cream cheese back then, but that's when it started. Red velvet cake started to take root, precursor to red velvet cake, and by the 1900s there were some recipes that called for colored cakes, some red colored cakes, but these weren't really popular. These were mostly festive cakes for kids that kids would have over the holidays, perhaps, like for Christmas or Valentine's Day. And the exact origin is, as I said before, it was started. Well, I should say the Texas origin of association with red velvet cake may go back to an old tradition, holiday that for Black Americans goes back to the end of the Civil War, known as Juneteenth, where red velvet cake was served at picnics, Juneteenth parades. Often they would have red velvet cakes, other red drinks, such as red soda pop, watermelon, usually to commemorate the African colors of the African flag, which is red, black, and green. And that's when and that's I guess some early Texas history associated with red velvet cake. And then it's also been said that during World War II that red velvet cake World War II, when flour with certain goods, certain essential goods used for essential cooking ingredients were rationed during the war efforts. to be available for the troops, such as flour, sugar, butter was rationed, and a technique that many chefs found out is using beet juice. By mixing beet juice, it gave the cake a moisture. It gave a good, nice moisture. It gave sweet, made the cake sweet and gave it a good moisture. And the cake is moisture, and that's one of the that's how it got his red velvety color. And some recipes of today still call for the beet juice method, though some may, in this day and age, may use red food coloring. That's to some say how also Texas red velvet cake became prevalent, but still red velvet cake wasn't a very popular dessert of choice to make. It was kind of lackluster dessert that people would make, and he was referencing to certain popular cookbooks like the Joy of Cooking, but still it didn't really catch on. It wasn't that popular. What gave the red velvet cake its southern association was, again, just like with fried green tomatoes, the red velvet cake would make a appearance in another southern iconic film called Steel Magnolias, which is shown in a scene where there's like a wedding with a groom's cake being served in the shape of an armadillo, which is in Texas, and they cut the cake open, and it's shown to be red. The cake is red velvety color, and I think that's where the popular red velvet cake became prevalent, and particularly with the groom's cake. It's often with the groom's cake is usually red velvet. When I went to a wedding a couple of years, 10 years ago, the groom's cake was red velvet. The groom's cake was red velvet. So I guess it's a tradition for men to have a red velvet cake, but I'm not sure. I guess because of Steel Magnolias, the red velvet cake started to become prevalent. It's really until the 2010s that red velvet cake started becoming really popular. The 2010s, when everything, not besides the cakes, but other desserts started having a red velvet color, such as everything from Oreos, Pop-Tarts, pancakes, donuts, ice cream, even cookies, all red velvet. Making red velvet really popular than it is today. I guess to some, making it popular in the South. Then the last couple of things I'd like to discuss is about we've often talked during the World Fair that the ice cream taught about the World Fair here in my hometown, St. Louis, that ice cream. I should start with hamburgers, hot dogs, iced tea, and ice cream will start the World Fair. But just turns out on the news they mentioned a verified report saying that they were not starting the World Fair, that there were already been ideas of them being made prior to the World Fair, which don't make sense, particularly about the hamburger. Hamburgers are already being made, already being sold on the streets in New York. I think it has a German origin, German neighborhoods, and along with the hot dog, which also is German, which here in Frankfurt which comes from Frankfurt, Germany, and they were sold. There's been even a kind of dispute and debates about the name of the hot dog became it being served in the buns. Sometimes it was eaten without the buns. Sometimes some people say it was started at a baseball game in one cold winter, and they would serve a piping hot Frankfurt on the bun. but it didn't start at the World's Fair. And the ice cream cone. There's been debates about the ice cream cone as well, and it was even one of my it was in one of my home. It's been debated that ice cream cones were started in France. In the documentary American Eats Rip shows a painting at like a French cafe of someone licking what appears to be an ice cream cone. And people say that was the first ice cream cone. But it's still debated, but people say it wasn't at the World's Fair. They say no foods were started at the World's Fair. There's also been heard that cocoa flakes, corn flakes or either Rice Krispie treats, and Dr. Pepper was started at the World's Fair, which means that must be a myth as well. They said no foods were started during the World's Fair, and it makes me think of an episode of Little House on the Prairie. It was in the general store. The Nellie Olsen girl was shown was pregnant. She was eating a pickle and ice cream in a cone, which I thought at the time was inaccurate because I always thought again that it wasn't until the World's Fair that the ice cream cone, the waffle cone, was invented. But they said that may be true. Then if they had ice cream cones, it wasn't the World's Fair, so it could have been true. But that's some nice, and that's some from the foods I wanted to discuss about. Feel free to comment on this subject if you think that about your opinions about these foods and their origin. It's another video by Chase Pound. Stay tuned for the next video.